Canada's identity has long been intertwined with immigration. For decades, newcomers have helped build cities, fuel innovation, and shape communities from coast to coast. But as we settle into 2025, Canada finds itself at a pivotal juncture. A moment when the path to building a life here is being reshaped in profound ways. Imagine being a student in Toronto, nervous but excited about your future, only to hear that programs once eligible for work after graduation are now tightly curated to match specific labor needs. Or envision the skilled tradesperson in Calgary watching provincial nomination slots shrink while others climb to the front of the line. For many, the landscape is shifting and fast. Let's walk through what's changing and what it truly means for those who aren't just numbers, but people with dreams. As outlined in the 2025-2027 Immigration Levels Plan, Canada is recalibrating immigration across the board. Permanent resident targets will ease from 485,000 in 2024 down to 395,000 in 2025, 380,000 in 2026, and 365,000 in 2027. For the first time, targets for new temporary residents, students, and workers are being set. 673,650 in 2025, 516,600 in 2026, and 543,600 in 2027. The goal? Reduce the share of temporary residents to 5% of Canada's population by the end of 2026. This isn't policy for the sake of headlines. It's a reaction to real pressures. Cities across Canada, from Toronto to Vancouver, have felt the strain on housing, healthcare, and infrastructure. Even small towns have seen rental prices dip as trains of temporary arrivals slow. Let's pause with a quick breakdown of the key changes. Permanent residents, lower targets through 2027. Temporary residents, first ever limits, aiming to ease population growth. Provincial Nominee Program, PNP. Targets slashed to 55,000 per year, down from over 110,000. Federal Express Entry, economic class. Rising share of new arrivals, more weight on high-skilled workers and French-speaking newcomers. French language immersion, growing target, from 8.5% in 2025 to 10% by 2027. Strong Borders Act, Bill C-2. Sweeping changes to asylum access, broader cancellation powers of immigration documents, and crackdown on cross-border risks. Behind these figures are thousands of human stories. Take Aisha, an international student from Kenya, pursuing early childhood education in Nova Scotia. In 2024, her field wouldn't even raise an eyebrow for eligibility. But thanks to IRCC updates, education programs like hers now make the cut. It was a lifeline. With PGWP eligibility secured, Aisha can launch a career and begin the journey toward permanent residence. Plus, the government made things smoother. Programs removed on June 25, 2025 were reinstated by July 4th, giving students like her a grace period through early 2026. Then there's Diego, a software developer in Ontario, hoping to use the tech route through Express Entry. Under the new plan, his path still exists, but it's more competitive. The government favors high-skilled roles in sectors like healthcare, trades, and French-speaking markets. It's still possible, but the bar is higher and the window narrower. Meanwhile, a family separated by borders, Ming and her parents in India, wait for a sponsorship approval that's now navigating longer queues. As the government adjusts priorities toward economic and francophone admissions, some worry the family reunification stream could inch backward. And then there are those caught in limbo by the new Strong Borders Act. If passed, asylum seekers who have been in Canada for more than a year could lose access to hearings and many protections that come with that. For vulnerable people fleeing violence or persecution, that's not policy abstraction, it's a potential erasure of hope. Across the country, communities are adapting. Colleges are pivoting their programs. Education institutions are alerting students to in-demand fields. Employers in healthcare, teaching, and trades know they have stronger leverage and attention from policymakers. For newcomers already here, the outlook is shifted but still navigable. Stay informed. Check if your program qualifies for PGWP, especially if you applied before the June 25 change, because you're likely grandfathered in. Explore Federal Express Entry if you're high-skilled or bilingual. Economic streams are still prioritized. If you're aiming for provincial nomination, be aware the quotas are far tighter now. Families, Patience and planning matter more than ever, as reunification remains, but within a leaner framework. Canada hasn't slammed its doors shut. Instead, it's realigning. The pathway is still open, but more deliberate. The government is seeking balance. Sustainable growth, protection of public services, and still, a place for skilled, driven people who choose to build their lives here. As 2025 unfolds, these policies are no longer just lines in a government plan. They're felt in crowded college classrooms, in the anxious refresh of immigration portals, and in the deeply personal journeys of newcomers who arrived with nothing but hope for a better future. Canada's identity has always been shaped by immigration. Now it's being defined by how those newcomers are welcomed and how Canada evolves alongside them. Canada's immigration story in 2025 is still being written, and its impact will be felt for years to come. But what do you think? Are these changes opening new doors or creating new challenges? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. And if you found this breakdown useful, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more updates on the policies shaping our world.